Good afternoon. This is meteorologist John Wettenkamp with the National Weather Service in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and here's a look at your severe weather briefing. We are expecting a round of severe thunderstorms this evening into the overnight hours. However, there's uncertainty on exactly where the storms will track. Looking at the potential for damaging winds, possibly in excess of 70 miles per hour, some brief heavy rainfall which could lead to localized flooding, and potentially some large hail. So impacts from these storms, widespread wind damage is possible. If you are outdoors, know your nearest shelter location and take shelter when the storms approach. Also, a quick 1 to 2 inches of rainfall could lead to localized flooding. So the greatest severe weather threats, right now the thinking is the severe storms would track kind of along that Mississippi River corridor and possibly areas to the west. So in this red shaded region, I could see the area where we're expecting the greater severe weather threat. However, this could shift a little further to the north and east, depending on how the storms evolve here this evening. So widespread damaging winds possible, especially right along the Mississippi River and into central Minnesota. Could see winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. And large hail. Some of these storms could also produce very large hail, especially across central Minnesota. And we should see the threat transition more into damaging winds as we get later into the evening and overnight hours. Could even see an isolated tornado or two. However, the higher probabilities for that are just north and west of the local area. Again, quick 1 to 2 inches of rainfall is expected out of this complex of storms that moves through, which could lead to localized flooding. So here's a visualization of what the radar could look like here by early this evening. A cluster of storms, severe storms over central Minnesota, and then as the storms evolve, they're expected to form into a line and track southeast. There's medium confidence on the placement of these storms here in this yellow shaded region. We're looking at the storms moving in early this evening into southeast Minnesota and western Wisconsin, then continuing southeast through the late evening and overnight hours. And again, this storm track could shift a little to the north and east, so monitor forecasts closely here as we draw closer to this evening. So risk level from tornadoes, the main tornado threats will be north and west of the area. However, we cannot rule out an isolated tornado or two with this line of storms. Damaging winds will be the highest threat across the previous slide here where we showed the yellow shaded area. That's where we're thinking the highest threat will be. So that'll mainly be along and southwest of the Interstate 94 corridor. Large hails possible, especially during the evening hours, and a quick 1 to 2 inches of rainfall could lead to some localized flooding. So just to summarize, again, if you have outdoor plans, be prepared to take shelter as the storms approach. Have a means to receive storm warnings, know where your nearest shelter location is, and check back for changes in the forecast. So the storms will move in here late this evening, impacting areas along and west of the Mississippi River, and then tracking southeast during the late evening and overnight. Main impact time will be between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. Widespread wind damage is possible. Have a place to seek shelter, and stay tuned for forecast refinements as we draw closer. Thanks for listening. For additional information, check our internet homepage or check us out on social media.